All right, lads. Today, we're talking Wor Bruno Guimarães because Newcastle are reportedly ready to offer him a record-breaking contract while Arsenal keep circling. He's shining for Brazil at the World Cup, his value is flying, and this could become a massive test of our ambition. Subscribe as well, lads, because every day I'm checking the main Newcastle sources, cutting through the noise and bringing you the stories that actually matter to the Toon Army. According to The Sun, Newcastle United are willing to offer Wor Bruno Guimarães a club record contract worth £40 million in total, taking him to around £200,000 a week. And honestly, man, that's not just a contract story, that's a statement. Because this isn't some random midfielder we're talking about. This is Bruno, our captain, the heartbeat. The lad who walks into that midfield, demands the ball, takes pressure, takes kicks, takes responsibility, and still plays like the whole match belongs to him. And right now, while Arsenal are sniffing around, while Manchester United are apparently watching, while caught offside are saying clubs like Liverpool, Manchester City, Barcelona, Real Madrid and Inter are monitoring the situation, Bruno is out there at the World Cup with Brazil, raising his level again. And that matters. It matters massively. Because when you see our captain wearing that Brazil shirt, handling pressure on the biggest stage in football, creating, competing, controlling the rhythm, looking like he belongs among the best midfielders on the planet, how can anyone look at that and think, aye, maybe we should cash in? No. No chance. But here's the thing. The money is serious. £200,000 a week. Biggest deal in our history. £40 million over the contract. That's not loose change. That's the club saying, we know what you are. We know what you mean. And we're not letting the self-appointed elite pick through our squad like we're still stuck in the Ashley era. And I love that. I genuinely love that ambition. Because for too long, we were the club that sold at the wrong time, waited too long, replaced badly, hoped for miracles, and got told to be grateful. We've lived that. We know what it feels like standing in the cold at St. James Park, looking at a thin squad and thinking, how have we ended up here again? Not now. Not with Bruno. Not with our captain. Now look, I get the other side of it. I really do. Some fans will say, if someone puts £100 million on the table, should we take it and build a deeper squad? And listen, that's a fair question. We need players, we need depth, we need legs, we need quality across the pitch. Eddie Howe needs options because 1 or 2 injuries, and suddenly the whole season feels like it's held together with tape and prayer. But Bruno isn't just another asset. He's not just a number on a spreadsheet. He's the player who sets the tone. He's the one who gets the gala gate up when he snaps into a tackle. He's the one who gives the team personality. He's the one who looks at the old guard and doesn't blink. And honestly, that's priceless. You don't sell the heartbeat of the team and then ask why the body stopped moving. That's the line, man. That's it. And the mad part is, Arsenal apparently already tried around £55 million. £55 million for Bruno? Are they having a laugh? That's not a serious offer for our captain. That's a test. That's them seeing if we're nervous. That's them checking if we still act like a club that can be bullied. And we can't. We absolutely can't. Because if we let Bruno go now, especially while he's playing well for Brazil at the World Cup and the whole football world is watching, what message does that send? It tells every big club, come here when you fancy one of ours. It tells every ambitious player in our squad, this project bends when pressure comes. And after losing Isak to Liverpool, and we all know how that one felt, we cannot be seen as the club that develops elite talent, builds emotional connection, gives them the shirt, gives them the love, and then watches them walk when the noise gets loud. Nah, Divint let that happen again. Right, quick one as well, lads. If you're enjoying these daily Newcastle updates, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because every single day I'm reading the main sites, checking the biggest sources, digging through the transfer noise, and bringing the stories that actually matter to us as Toon fans. So don't just hear about it 3 days late from some random account. Join us here, because this is where we keep it, Newcastle, every day. Now, back to Bruno. What gets me is the timing. He's 28. He's in his peak years. He's our captain. He's showing his quality at the World Cup. He's not pushing to leave, according to the reports. He's letting the club handle it. That tells me one thing: give him the respect. Give him the contract, give him the platform, then build around him properly. Because if we're serious, really serious, about competing again, about getting back into Europe, about making SJP a nightmare for every club that walks up that tunnel, we need leaders who are already proven. And Bruno is proven. Sandro Tonali has elegance. Joe Linton gives us power, but Bruno gives us identity. Where Bruno is different, man. You feel it on match day. You feel it walking up to St. James Park in that northeast cold, scarf tucked in, pint still in your head from the strawberry, hearing the crowd getting louder as you get closer to the ground. That's what this club is supposed to be. Fire, noise, belief, standards, and Bruno fits that. Now, should we destroy the wage structure for one player? That's the real debate. Because £200,000 a week is massive, that is, and once one player gets that, others will look at it, agents will look at it, future signings will look at it. That's football. But sometimes, a club has to choose who represents the ceiling, and if Bruno Guimarães isn't the kind of player we break records for, then who is? Seriously, who? Because we cannot keep saying we want to act like an elite club, then panic the second elite-level wages come into the conversation. We didn't wait through all those miserable years just to get scared when ambition finally knocks on the door. So for me, this is where we hold firm. Not for £55 million, not for £80 million, not because Arsenal fancy him, not because Manchester United might offer more money, not because Liverpool are lurking in the shadows again, because honestly, after Isak, I'm sick of seeing their name anywhere near our best players. If someone wants Bruno, make them feel pain, real pain. And even then, I'd still rather we kept him, because some players are worth more than the fee. Some players tell the dressing room what the club stands for, and Bruno tells everyone that we're not here to clap politely while the old guard take what they want. We're Newcastle United. We protect our captain. We build around our best. And we don't sell our soul just because London rings the phone twice. So here's my question to you lot, and I want proper arguments in the comments. Should we give Wor Bruno the record wages and build the entire midfield around him? Or would you take £100 million and trust the club to sign 2 or 3 players instead? Be honest, Toon Army. Is Bruno untouchable? Or does every player have a price?
Perfect.